Forget everything you thought you knew about freeze-dried food. If you're tired of boring pantry staples, you need to see this video. Arctic Farms is redefining freeze-dried food, and today we're unboxing a treasure trove of their latest. Plus, I'm going to be doing a live taste test of some of the most interesting items, so stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Today, I have something truly special and a little bit different for you. I'm diving into a brand new box of goodies from one of our favorite freeze-dried food companies, Arctic Farms. Now, you know I love a good haul, but this isn't just about quantity. It's about incredible quality, innovation, and a company that truly stands out. Now, one of the things that we really love about Arctic Farms is that they're a US-based company. You know that's important to us. They do all of their incredible freeze drying right in New Jersey, actually. And for me, that's a little bit extra special because New Jersey does have a very dear place in my heart. It's where my dad's from. It's where my dad's family's from. So I did spend a lot of time there as a kid visiting my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, cousins, all of that. And some of them are still there. So I've always had a soft spot for Jersey, but we also just love supporting American-made companies whenever we can, no matter what region they're from. It's something that's really important to us. So it's definitely a detail that always stands out first and foremost about a company. But beyond the fact that they are an American-made company and that little personal connection to my family history, Arctic Farms also truly excels in one key area, and that's variety. They offer a completely mind-boggling range of products, from their single ingredient produce in their freeze-dried garden collection to some truly fun and really unexpected items as well. I can just about guarantee that you are going to see something today that you've probably never seen before. Variety is a big thing that I look for in a food company for a couple of different reasons. One, I love to cook and I love having a wide variety of ingredients to use in my meals and dishes. And that carries over to my meals in a jar, meals in a bag, and really just everything in my shelf-stable pantry. I never want to be limited to just the boring basics. Variety is the spice of life. But beyond that, having a variety of different foods in your pantry, especially when it comes to colorful fruits and vegetables and berries and your produce items, that's the best way to make sure that you are covering all of your bases nutritionally and avoiding deficiencies and nutritional gaps. And this becomes especially important and actually a lot harder to do when it comes to your shelf-stable pantry. This is why we seek out companies that offer both quality and variety, because freeze-dried food already has the top spot for shelf life and nutrient retention. So when you combine all of those things together, it's really all you could ask for. Now, not only does Arctic Farms have an absolutely insane variety of different items, but they are always adding new things. Every time I check out the website, I am just mind blown. We've been working with Arctic Farms for a few years now, and we've been using and buying their food. And recently, they were nice enough to send us a box filled with some of their newest items so that we could taste them, test them out, do some recipe testing, and of course, share them with all of you. And I just am itching to find out what's in this box. But before I do that, I do want to let you know that I have a special coupon code for our followers. If you should want to make a purchase from the site, you can use that code at any time. It's Wicked Prepared. And I also have a link for you that I'm going to put on the screen and also down below the video, because you're definitely going to want to check out the site for yourself. As amazing as these new products are that I'm going to be opening up today, they've got a ton of other cool things as well. There's always a selection of different items on sale all throughout the site. And believe it or not, they've actually even introduced some more new things since we got this box, which is just crazy. In fact, I'd like you all to check out the site and tell me which new item you think that I am personally most excited about. Take a guess. If you go to the site, you can choose Shop All, and then sort new to old, and it's going to show you the newest items first. All right, let's get started because I am dying to see what's in this box. Now, this is the box. It is huge. So I'm going to have it set right here next to me. I am so excited to see what's in here. This box is huge. It's heavy. And you know, when it comes to freeze-dried food, that really means something because freeze-dried food is ultra light. It has all the moisture removed. So it is light as a feather. So there's a lot of goodies in this box. I cannot wait. All right, I've got my camera angled down here so I can give you guys a better view. So let's see what we've got. So first thing I've got here is, okay, these are freeze-dried limes. This is super exciting because I love the freeze-dried citrus. I have had freeze-dried lemons and they are amazing. And I love limes, I think even better than lemons. So I'm really excited about this. Now you can see here, these are the 2 bag sizes that they have. Well, they actually have 3 bag sizes. So they've got the small, which is not exactly like a single serving, but it's, a couple of servings. And then they've got the medium size, which is like definitely multi servings. And then they've got a big bulk bag as well. So these, you can kind of see the difference in the size between these 2. And that shows you a really kind of good example. But I have used my freeze-dried lemons for all kinds of things. Lemon chicken, Greek lemon chicken soup. I've used them on salmon slices. They're great in drinks. A ton of people that I know love to put the freeze-dried citrus in their drinks, like soda, water, any type of thing you want to do to flavor the water. They are amazing for that. So I'm really excited about these limes. And next thing, oh my God, this is so exciting. This is rhubarb. I am so excited about this. Rhubarb is one of my favorite things ever. My grandmother always had a rhubarb patch and she's always made the best rhubarb pies. Her church has a rhubarb pie sale every spring. And rhubarb's just always been something that I really love. I have a lot of rhubarb dessert recipes myself that my family loves. So having this freeze-dried to be able to include this in recipes and things like that is so exciting. I've had a ton of people ask me about freeze-dried rhubarb. So this is a very, very exciting addition. Now you can see here, they must be switching the bags because there's no window on this little bag and there is a window on this so you can really see what's inside. Now, a lot of people are iffy about bags with a window because bags with a window, it used to be you can still get some less, cheaper Mylar bags with windows where the window is actually like just a glassine window that's kind of pasted onto an actual opening in the bag. And that's not good. But bags like this is part of the bag. All it is that there's color applied in between the layers of the bag material, and there's an area left where there's no color applied so that it's a clear window so you can see what's in it, but it doesn't affect the integrity of the bag. So that's really good to know because I used to be really iffy about bags with windows, and you do still have to watch out for what you're getting, but from companies like this, it's not a problem. It doesn't affect the shelf life or the integrity. Next, oh my goodness, look at this. We've got freeze-dried pumpkin. I have never had freeze-dried pumpkin before, and I'm really excited about this. I love pumpkin in the fall time. I love seasonal things, and so I love using pumpkin in desserts and even pumpkin in side dishes, soups, stews, things like that. I have a really good pulled pork butternut squash soup that is so delicious in the fall, and pumpkin would be great and things like that. And pumpkin is so super nutritious, and the more nutrition we can add into our pantries, the better. So I'm really excited about this pumpkin. Now this is cactus fruit. This is amazing. So look, it is a deep red color. It kind of reminds me of dragon fruit, but it doesn't look like it has the little seedy bits like the dragon fruit does. This is really exciting. Anytime you see deep color in a fruit, it means a lot of nutrition. And I'm excited to try this because I've never tried cactus fruit before. Another good thing with the really deeply colored items is they are amazing to use as a natural food coloring. You can blend these up into a powder and you can stir that powder into drinks and pancakes and frostings, icings, cake mixes, anything where you need a little bit of natural color, and the deeper the color is, the better it's going to work for that. So this is really exciting. Okay, next we have got some pine berries. This is so cool. So I don't know if you've heard of pine berries. I have. They look just like strawberries, except they are white and pink. So they look like they're actually underripe strawberries, but they're actually not. They're their own kind of berry. They're actually really tasty. I have tried them before. You can sometimes find them at your supermarket. And so I'm assuming they're related to a strawberry, but they supposedly have a little bit more of a pineapple-y taste, but they just look different. So I love differing variations of all kinds of different foods. So this is really, really cool. All right, here is something that not only have I never seen it before, I've never even heard of this. It says limequats, limequats. So I've heard of kumquats, so I'm assuming it's related to that, or maybe it's a cross between that and a lime. So this is really, really interesting. Something I've literally never even heard of before. That is so cool. All right, this is something that I saw on the website. I'm very, very excited about this. This is sea buckthorn, and I'm going to tell you a little bit later, a little bit more details about the sea buckthorn and why I was so excited about it, because I want to find what I looked up and really, really get you the accurate details, not just from my memory. But sea buckthorn, this is another thing that I had not heard of until I saw it appear on their site. And I am so, so excited to try these. I can tell you they're super, super nutritious. All right, here's another thing that I have hardly even heard of. I'm not even sure if I've heard of this. So this is kiwi berries. So it looks like little teeny kiwis. So I think they're little teeny kiwis that grow on a vine. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not even related to kiwis. This is exciting because this is stuff that I have never, ever seen before. And I know that kiwis are super high in vitamin C, and I can see that these kiwi berries are also super high in vitamin C, 90% of your daily vitamin C in one serving. And of course, you can see another thing that I love about these is that's the only ingredient is the kiwi berry. These are single ingredient fruits and vegetables and produce items, which is really, really important. All right, next I've got, this is really exciting. So this is avocado. Obviously, I've heard of avocado. We've all heard of avocado. But avocado is so super nutritious, and this is not something that you find very often freeze-dried. So to be able to have this shelf-stable, to add to recipes and things like that. I know a lot of people I've never tried freeze-drying avocado myself. I know a lot of people who have and have not had very much success. So it'll be interesting to try these and see how they are. But most people, I don't ever eat avocado usually just plain anyways. So that might be why some people don't really like the taste of the freeze-dried avocado, but I can't wait to taste this. But it's great to mash up and put seasonings and stuff, make guacamole and all that, even if it's not something that you like plain. All right, okay, this I can feel. Now this says bananas, but just by feeling this package, this feels much heavier and much denser than the other packages I've been pulling out. So let's see, there's a few more here like this. So what this is, I think, let's see. So these are some of their fruit powders. This is something new that they've started doing. Fruit and vegetable powders are really, really incredible. So that was banana. This is mango. This is tomato powder. So tomato powder is kind of in a world of its own in the prepper pantry. I'll get into that in a little bit and more. So this is beets. So beet powder. Now powders are amazing because if you could feel how hefty this was, when you take a freeze-dried fruit or vegetable with all those air spaces, fruits and vegetables are mostly water. They have so much water content. So freeze drying removes all the water. It makes them ultralight and it leaves them with tons of air pockets inside. So when you powder them, you collapse all that air space from those where the water was, and it turns into a very, very condensed. So you can have the nutrition of many, many, many times the volume of fruits and vegetables in a very small space. And that is why I have really, for a long time, really loved powders for my prepper pantry, fruit and vegetable powders. You've got all the nutrition of many, many fruits and vegetables in a very small space. And they're really, really good for adding to things. Like I mentioned, they make a great food coloring and flavoring that's all natural. And they also are really good for like adding to smoothies. You can stir them into oatmeal, yogurt, anything like that, just to get more nutrition. Now, banana powder, I'm excited about this because I love doing mixes in a jar. And I love just add water mixes where you don't have to add anything but water. So to be able to have bananas to make like banana bread, banana muffins, this would be great in oatmeal jars, all pancakes, all sorts of things. Mango, delicious. This is going to be a nice orange color. That would be a great flavoring and coloring. Now, tomato powder is a standout ingredient for the prepper pantry. I feel like every pantry, whether it's your prepper pantry or just your everyday pantry, should definitely have tomato powder, because you can use this. It's so versatile. It is just tomatoes. That is all that's in here. That's another thing that's exciting about this, because not all companies have just the fruit or vegetable. A lot of them will put additives, things in there to prevent caking and, things like that. So it's nice to find one that's just the fruit or vegetable. You can use this to make tomato juice, tomato sauce, tomato paste, depending on how much water you put in it. You can make pasta sauce. You can make ketchup. Anything that you would make with tomatoes or tomato puree can be made out of tomato powder. So it's really a magical ingredient. And then, of course, beets. This is going to be a deep red color. And beets also are really, really good, like almost medicinally. They're very nutritious and they're really good for your blood pressure and for your heart. So this is a great thing to have, whether you just throw a little bit into, a smoothie or something on the daily for a little bit of extra nutrition. and those medicinal benefits, or whether you're going to use this for like borscht kind of soup. I'm really excited about that because I want to do a borscht soup in a jar because that's a soup that my mother made a lot when I was a kid. I'm really excited about these powders. Ooh, look at this. Okay, this is exciting as well. This is freeze-dried pomegranate arils. So that's like the little seeds of the pomegranate, the part you eat. They're called arils. So I'm excited. I've actually tried to freeze-dry pomegranate myself. I got a whole box of them for I think I got them for free actually. So I was like, what can I do with this? Everything I read said, do not freeze dry them. It said juice them and just make powder out of the juice. I had to try freeze drying them. It did not go well. This is one of those things that is definitely best left to the professional. So I'm really excited to try their pomegranate arils because pomegranates are one of my family's favorite fruits. We can only get them certain times of the year anyways. And so to be able to have them year round is exciting to me because not only are they delicious, but they're actually very, very nutritious. They have a lot of really good nutritional benefits. So I am so excited about this. All right, here's something different. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. So this is real whole bananas. Obviously they're real bananas, but these are whole bananas. I have never seen freeze-dried bananas is one of my family's absolute favorite treats. My kids love freeze-dried banana slices, but I have never seen the whole banana. They are going to get a kick out of this. This is really interesting. I could see using this for like a banana split, especially if it was like an April Fool's Day joke or something like that. But honestly, to use these in like a banana split, they'd be good for all sorts of different things. This is actually really interesting. I have never seen whole bananas before. All right, next, look at this. We've got some green grapes. I have had freeze-dried red grapes before. I've never had the green grapes. And I think freeze-dried grapes, number one, they are a delicious snack. They're so much different than a raisin, and they're so much better, in my opinion. And they're just delicious. Grapes have a ton of nutrition. I love grapes in like chicken salad. I've done chicken salad, dry in a jar with the freeze-dried ingredients to just add water. So to have the grapes to add in, this is going to be really, really exciting. Lots of different salads. This would be great for snacking. These are going to be great. What kind of grapes do you like better to snack on? Do you like red grapes or green grapes? When I was a kid, I always loved the green grapes. As I've gotten older, I came to appreciate the red grapes more. My kids still love the green grapes. So I wonder if it's like a maturity thing. Ooh, here's another one I'm really excited about. Oranges. So these are orange slices. This is pretty exciting. Like I said, citrus is extremely popular. Freeze-dried. People love it. People love putting it in their drinks. I could see orange in drinks as well. I was actually looking for freeze-dried oranges, whole oranges, for a cranberry orange relish meal in a jar that I was working on. So this is going to be great for things like that. You can powder up these freeze-dried citrus and make your own like citrus powders, or you can just like lay them as is on top of something you're cooking or into a soup or anything like that. They're really, really kind of versatile like that. Ooh, and look at this. Pink lemons. This is exciting. Pink lemons, pink lemonade. These would be so great in drinks. These would be so fun. And here's another color variation. So this is white asparagus. Now they do also have green asparagus. This is their green asparagus. And this is an ingredient that I absolutely love and was so happy to find because I used to get this from Thrive Life and then I couldn't anymore. And one of my most popular meal in a jar recipes actually uses asparagus. So, and we just love asparagus. It's a very nutritious vegetable. I love having variety and being able to have variety in my shelf-stable pantry. So this is a favorite. So to see the white asparagus, honestly, I am one of those people. I absolutely love looking through the seed catalogs and the gardening catalogs and looking at the really different variations of things that you can find that aren't so common. And it's things like these. I love to buy and try to grow them myself. So to be able to get these freeze-dried, this is really amazing. And freeze-dried vegetables like this, you actually can snack on them. People usually think about snacking on the fruits, but the vegetables are also really great for snacking. They're going to be lower in carbs. They're going to be, high in fiber, and they make really good like crudités for like a veggie tray, but you can do it freeze-dried and shelf-stable. Dip them in some hummus, dip them in some dip. They make really healthy snacks, and they kind of satisfy that crunchy urge like you would get with chips, but they're a lot healthier than a potato chip. Oh, here is another citrus item. So excited about this. So this is grapefruit. So I love grapefruit. The slice is kind of slid up to the top. You can't really see it, but I absolutely love grapefruit. Have always loved eating grapefruit. My kids like it. They like to put sugar on it. I don't. I wish they didn't. Do you put sugar on your grapefruit or not? But I'm super excited to try this. Like I said, all of these different citruses are super popular, and to be able to get something different that I've never seen before really excites me. All right, here's something cool. Now so it's corn, and you can get corn, freeze-dried corn, pretty easily because corn's a really common vegetable. This is actually fire roasted corn. That is so exciting to me because I actually like to buy like frozen fire roasted corn and canned fire roasted corn for all kinds of like Mexican street corn recipes, Mexican street corn pasta salads, and chilies, all sorts of things. So I'm really excited to be able to have this fire roasted corn as an ingredient for my meals in a jar. And I'll bet it's super tasty just to snack on by itself because freeze-dried corn by itself is an amazing snack. It's amazing on salads. Such a good crispy topping that's so much healthier than croutons. So I am really excited about this. Ooh, and here's something super cool. Look at this. These are baby corn. So like the little corns that you might see on like a salad bar or in a lot of like stir fry dishes, Asian dishes. And that's what I love to use these for, is like Asian dishes and stir fry. So this is something that I will definitely be using in some meals in a jar. I think it would also make a really fun veggie dipper too. All right, here we are getting into something a little different because I see bags that say snacks. So this is freeze-dried Mexican blend cheese. So this is going to be shredded cheese, and I am excited about this because number one, it is a really great snack. I love snacking on freeze-dried cheese, and if you're low carb, keto, diabetic, any of that stuff, you need low carb snacks. Cheese is a great one, but to be able to have it shelf stable, not like a string cheese or something, to be able to carry it around with you and not have to worry about refrigeration. And it's delicious. You can throw it in a snack mix even, but it's also a really great pantry ingredient because this is real cheese. It's real cheese, and you can rehydrate it with just a little bit of water and it becomes right back to real cheese. You can melt it into your dishes. You could melt it on nachos. That's something you just can't easily get in a prepper pantry. So I'm really excited about this. And I'm super excited that they have these little teeny snack size bags. This would definitely be several servings. Like it says, there's 5 servings in this of cheese, but this would be so handy to just throw in my purse and just have a healthy, high protein, low carb snack with me. This is the perfect size bag. Oh, all right. What is this? I've got something. They put something in a box. So let's see what's in this box. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So this is actually not a new item. This is freeze-dried cream puffs. This actually happens to be one of my favorite treats of all time. I have a feeling somebody probably knows that, and that's probably why this was in here. But honestly, this also demonstrates, like, I just love it when a company is careful with what they're sending you to make sure that it's going to show up in one piece. They probably know that cream puffs are delicate, and so these are packed into a box. Let's see what's in the other box. There's 2 more. There's 2 of the small bags of cream puffs. Look at these. These are so delicious. I absolutely love freeze-dried cream puffs. These are an amazing treat. All right, so now we're getting into some fun stuff because I see some bags that say freeze-dried pizza. So this is amazing. So this bag is actually a little bit, let's see, a little bit bigger than the medium bag. You can see here's the small bag, medium, and these are a little bit bigger, but they're not as big as the bulk bags. I think this is just because these are big slices of pizza, and so they probably would not even fit into this bag. So they've got a bag just for the pizza. So these are cheese pizza. I do believe they have other flavors as well, or other varieties of pizza, but these are cheese pizza. A couple of slices of pizza in these bags. So this is something that you could definitely rehydrate this if you wanted, but this is one of those things that I think is probably actually even better just eaten dry. But I love pizza. My family loves pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? To be able to snack on this during an emergency or, hiking or something like that would be amazing. Ooh, look at this. This is something amazing and new. So this is freeze-dried candy, and they're chocolates. They've got milk chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate, and dark chocolate here. Now this is pretty interesting. Let's see. We've got also big bags as well. Now, really, basically chocolate is one of those things that you really cannot freeze dry. So they have found a way to do this. I'm imagining because with certain things that you really can't freeze dry, like say something with a lot of sugar in it, that just kind of bubbles up. So, but if you can cut it with enough water and dilute it with enough water, you usually can freeze dry it. So I have a feeling that's probably what's done here, is maybe Maybe it's been diluted with enough water to make it almost like a hot chocolate kind of mixture that was then freeze dried to make it able to be freeze dried. But that is really exciting. I'm really excited to try these. I love chocolate. Ooh, and now we're getting into some real treats. We've got ice cream, freeze-dried ice cream. This is something that is like, I would say maybe a specialty of theirs because they have an incredible assortment of different flavors. I have never seen so many different freeze-dried ice creams. These are going to be some of their newer flavors. I think they have at least 30 something flavors of freeze-dried ice cream. There's got to be. I will have the link obviously to the website so you can go check it out and see all the flavors they have. But this one is Dubai style. My daughter is going to go nuts for this. She loves Dubai style anything. Ooh, and here we have got, so this is red velvet cake ice cream. That is another one that my kids are going to love. Red velvet cake. Ooh, here's something different. So this is freeze-dried gelato, which is like an Italian-style ice cream that's a lot more sort of rich and decadent. I can't even say this word. Stracciatella, I guess, something like that. If you look at the back, it says that it is Italian chocolate chip is what that flavor actually means. But it's gelato. That is something I've never seen freeze-dried gelato before. Here is another gelato, and this is birthday cake flavored gelato. That is pretty exciting. Ooh, look at this one. Pumpkin pie ice cream, freeze-dried ice cream. This is going to be amazing in the fall. I absolutely love, holiday themed and seasonal themed things. So I love pumpkin pie anything in the fall. So pumpkin pie ice cream is going to be amazing. I think this would be a really great Halloween kind of treat for like those fall holidays. If you're giving people treats, this would be one I would pick. All right, here is another ice cream flavor, cake batter. That is going to be a big hit with the kids as well. That looks like it's very decadent. Ooh, oh my goodness. Peanut butter ice cream freeze-dried. This is going to be probably a favorite of mine and my daughter's. She loves peanut butter ice cream, and so do I. Anything peanut butter sweets. This is going to be amazing. Cannot wait to try that one. All right, so this is interesting. So this is just vanilla and chocolate. There's, some of each, but look at this. This is premium ice cream. So I'm thinking, as opposed to the regular ice cream, like a lot of the ice cream is regular ice cream. So what I'm thinking, I know with regular ice cream in the freezer section, what I think of premium ice cream is like Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs. I know one thing I learned about those years ago is that part of the reason they're so much richer and more decadent and have that really good mouthfeel is because they whip less air into that ice cream. So I'm wondering if that's what they mean here by premium ice cream. So I've got a regular ice cream here, the cake batter, and I've got the premium. So if you actually look at these packages, I think this is where the difference is going to lie now that I'm looking at it. So this is the regular ice cream, and look at the ingredients list. It's a long ingredients list. It's got a lot of stuff. I mean, ice cream is a sweet treat. It's not a health food. But look at the premium ice cream. The ingredients list is super, super short. It is literally just cream, milk, cane sugar, egg yolk, vanilla, and cocoa. That is it. I think that is going to be the big difference in these premium ice creams. So if you are a really strict ingredients person, I mean, I know a lot of people don't really worry about that with sweets and candies and treats, but if that is really important to you, but you like to have a sweet treat, I think that premium ice cream is going to be your thing. Ooh, here's another gelato, and this is one that I am going to love. Espresso gelato. Love me some coffee ice cream, so I think this is going to be amazing. Ooh, and here's something different. So this one is a coconut sorbet. So that's exciting for somebody who has to be dairy-free, but also wants a sweet treat that's like a freeze-dried ice cream. Ooh, we've got strawberry, and this is the premium. I wonder how many flavors of premium. I'll have to look it up. Maybe I'll stick it on the screen. How many flavors of premium ice cream they have, how many flavors of regular, and how many they have of sorbet and gelato. So there's so many different types of treats here. Ooh, this is another one that I can tell is going to be a favorite of mine. Hazelnut. Hazelnut freeze-dried ice cream. Wow. And orange freeze-dried ice cream. This is very summery. This is very kind of creamsicle-ish. Ooh, and this one sounds even better to me than the orange. Look at this lemon custard. Lemon custard freeze-dried ice cream. That sounds delish. We have got cookies and cream. My kids are going to go nuts for this. Cookies and cream dessert. Freeze-dried ice cream. Wow. And look at this one. So I wonder, so this is strawberry shortcake. It says strawberry shortcake dessert. So I'm thinking, I used to love those strawberry shortcake like bars, ice cream bars when I was a kid. I'll bet that's what this is. I'll bet that's what it means by strawberry shortcake dessert. You can kind of see, I think it is like those desserts cut up. And so probably, I think there was probably a cookies and cream version too. So I'm thinking that's might be what this is. I liked the strawberry shortcake one, so that's the one I always got, but I do think they had a cookies and cream. Ooh, and look at this. Coffee premium ice cream. I told you this is one of my favorite kinds of ice cream, and this is the premium. So this is going to be amazing. See, once again, very short ingredients list. We've got cream, milk, cane sugar, egg yolks, and coffee. So that is it. So these are super clean ingredients. All right, I'm getting down to the bottom of the box here, but look what I just pulled out. So this is amazing. These are the bulk bags. I don't know if you can truly see how big these are. I'll try to put up a shot of myself, maybe holding these up next to my head, because these are really big. So what do we have here? So this is the whole bananas. So that's pretty exciting. A whole bag full of those whole bananas. And this one is beet chips, red beet chips. So this would actually be perfect. Now they're freeze-dried chips, but this would be perfect for that borscht recipe that I said I wanted to make, but also just to use as like a healthier type of chip, you know, than a fried potato chip. Let's see if I can do a good comparison here. So got the bulk bag. This is the pizza, which is a little bit bigger than the medium bag. Got the medium bag. And then we've got a small bag. So you can kind of see if I could line these all up. And the bottoms, you know, how thick they are, how gusseted they are, how much they've got in them. So this is kind of a really cool, just sort of visual example of all of the different bag sizes that they have. All right, you guys, I was trying to get this organized, like put all of the big bags with the little bags of the same items, trying to make some sense out of this, but there is so much here. I cannot even, I've given up. So I'm just going to pick some items to taste test, and then we're going to go from there. And then I will organize this in our food storage so that I can start trying it out in some recipes and things like that. All right, so I've got an array of foods that I've chosen. I'm going to try taste test for you guys. And I think I'll show you the food open and then taste test it. I think I've got a plan here. I'm going to start with the pizza because that's like a salty food. And then I'm going to try the fruits, and I'm going to try what I think might be the most tart, some of the most tart things first, and then move on to the sweeter things. And I'm going to cleanse my palate with some of the more vegetable items in between the fruits and the like actual sweets. Because I don't want, it's hard when you're eating a lot of foods. You don't want the taste of one to affect the taste of another, you know? So I think the pizza is going to give me a nice kind of start to, you know, offset some of the other fruits, some of the other like really tangy fruits. So here is one of these pizza slices. So this, and I tell you what, it smells amazing, like a pizzeria in this bag. So, and I love pizza, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to try this dry. I'm not going to try some things. They're not worth the trouble to rehydrate. You just eat them crunchy. Like this would be an amazing snack on a hike or something, I think. So I'm going to give this a try. They're good. It takes a minute in your mouth to kind of moisten it to really get the flavors popping out, but it's good. It tastes just like the pizza that I would get at like my favorite pizza place when I was a kid, when I used to walk down the street and get like the giant cheese pizza and carry it back to my house. It's really good. Oh, that's a good snack. I think kids would go nuts for that too, because it's different. It's like kids would be really excited about that. All right, next I'm going to do the sea buckthorn. Now I told you I wanted to take a minute to look this up so I could remember what I'd read about it. So basically, it is a nutritional superfood. Basically, they're little berries. They grow on a thorny plant, and that's another place I think I'd remembered hearing about this before. This plant, if it's allowed, it's invasive some places, so it might not be allowed, but places that it is, it can be a really good like protective hedge, like physical, natural sort of protection around your property because it's thorny and it grows thick. So the berries themselves are really high in like vitamin C and E and other antioxidants and vitamins, like really high in vitamin C. And it's got some medicinal uses too, like for cardiovascular health and circulation and like, of course, colds and things like that because of the vitamin C. So it's really really an impressive plant, and I can't believe I've never really heard about it before, the berries. So I'm going to open this up. I'm expecting them to be pretty tart because of all that vitamin C. That's kind of what you would expect. So I'm a little bit afraid. So that's why I started with the pizza. All right, so here is the bag. I'm going to put a few out into my hand for you to see. They don't really smell good. They don't smell bad, I guess. I just don't. All right, let's see. It's very tart, but it's citrusy. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what that flavor is. It's sea buckthorn flavor. Very tart, but not unbearably tart. Like I could eat those. It reminds me of like a pomegranate, Errol. I think it has a little bit of a seed that's like mildly crunchy in the middle. I don't know what that flavor is, but it's tart, but it's not that bad. I think for the medicinal purposes, for sure, that would be really good. It can be put into teas, and it can be put into jellies and sauces and things. I think a tea out of those dried buckthorn would be really nice, but I could munch on a few of those knowing that it's so high in nutrients. All right, next, the limes, because I know I'm not going to probably love, like I wouldn't just bite into a lime slice typically. I wouldn't enjoy that. Most people probably wouldn't. Some people do. But I'm just going to open it up, let you look at it, and maybe give it a little taste, knowing that it's not something I would typically just eat straight. It's something that I would use in a dish or on a dish or in a drink. All right, so one thing to note is that all of these bags, including the smallest ones, because that's what I'm opening here, is that they have a Ziploc. They all have a Ziploc. So that's really good because, if you don't finish, wow, that smells really limey. If you don't finish it, obviously, you'd want to be able to seal it back up. So here is, I don't know if you can see down in there, there's quite a few lime slices. Those were stuck together. So they're nice slices of lime. Let's see if I can find a broken piece to snack on. Not really a broken piece, but there is a little partial piece, a very thin sliver here. So I'm going to try this. It's pretty tart. It's like biting into a lime. That's good though, because I love lime. That's actually not bad. I would definitely be using these in Mexican dishes, in my drinks. I love lime. That's really exciting. All right, next I've got the oranges. I'm going to try these oranges. That smells really good. Nice big slices of orange. Now, orange is something I wouldn't usually eat with the peel. If you are blending or grinding them up for a powder, for like a juice powder, you can absolutely include the peel. That's what a lot of people do if they make it themselves. If you're doing something like a cranberry orange relish, the peel can go right in. But I'm just going to try this broken piece because, oh wow. That is sweet and good. That is not tart at all. I wonder how the peel tastes. A little bitter, like you would expect. Freeze-dried oranges, that's really good. And of course, that's going to be high in vitamin C as well. And that would also be good in a drink. That would be great in tea, floating in your tea. So cute. Be great for a tea party. All right, so next I'm going to try these lime quats because I don't know what they are. I'm assuming they're citrusy and limey. Probably they're going to be tart like the limes. I probably should have had them earlier, but I wanted to separate those two so I could tell the difference. Okay, they definitely smell limey, a little citrusy, a little lemony. All right, this is a little scary too. I'm going to take a bite. That's pretty tart, pretty limey. It's not that tart at first, but it gets tart. But that is another thing that could be used just like little limes. That would be the cutest little mini lime. All right, I also wanted to try the grapefruit, see if this one is edible without, if it's not too tangy. These are some monster slices of grapefruit. I almost can't get them out of that bag without, but I'm actually going to pick one that I broke to taste so that I don't have to bite through the peel. That's like the orange. That's enjoyable, like sweet and good. I wouldn't eat the peel probably once again on these. Peel's actually not that bad. A little bitter, but actually probably edible. So that's pretty cool. That'd be a really kind of cool thing to throw in like a breakfast. I don't know, because I think of grapefruits like breakfast. So, although I used to have it as an evening snack too, but throw it in like a meal in a bag, breakfast meal to have as a side dish to be able to have like some grapefruit with your meal. That'd be awesome. All right, next up, I wanted to try the kiwi berries. We'll see how these are. All right, so here's what they look like in the bag. They are like sliced. I imagine they're kind of like grapes, cherries, things like that. They have to be, blueberries have to be cut or pierced or sliced in order to freeze dry them because of the skin. All right, let's try it. Oh, that's a burst of flavor, and it's sweet. It's a little bit tart sweet, but it's really just a little bit of tangy because it's one of the vitamin C vegetables, or fruits. That's really good. It does taste like kiwi. It's just like a mini kiwi, I guess. That's really good. It'll be a perfect little bite-sized snack for a kid. And if you're into kiwi, I'm 95% certain they have regular green kiwi. I'm pretty sure I also saw like yellow kiwi. They have just such an amazing variety of things. All right, next up, I want to try the pomegranate. Look how bright and beautiful those are. So here they are, pomegranate arils. They're all just dry and that's really good. Delicious, sweet, crunchy, crispy, like almost like a Rice Krispie texture, but they have that little bit of firmness from that little bit of seed that they have inside. Those were super, super yummy. My family is going to love those. That would be another really tasty addition to like a trail mix, a snack mix. I think that would be good in cereal. All kinds of things you could do with that. All right, next, I'm trying the green grapes. I think these will be pretty sweet, so I have them near the end of my fruits. Right, so here's what they look like in the bag, the green grapes. Once again, anything like this with a skin, grapes, blueberries, cranberries, cherries, they have to be pierced, cut. Cherry would have the pit out, so that would be fine. But in order to let the moisture escape, that has to be done. Super tasty, very sweet, crunchy. Let's have another. So good. Really good. That would be really good if you just hydrate those a little bit, add them into chicken salad. Really, really good. All right, so next, trying the pine berries. All right, so here they are. Oh, they smell good. They smell basically like strawberries, I guess, which freeze-dried strawberries are a very, very popular item. So let me pick a nicely colored one where you can kind of see both colors. They are very light white. They look like an unripe strawberry, but they're not. A little bit of pink, a little bit of white. I think it tastes like a strawberry. It reminds me of like the strawberries in the Special K, which is freeze-dried strawberries. So that's one good use for a lot of these fruits. If you are not used to eating freeze-dried fruits that much, you're probably used to having them in cereal. And so that would be a really good one to put in cereal. All sorts of things. Desserts, yogurt, yum. I've made yogurt parfaits with freeze-dried berries. Never pine berries, but I've done strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. They're so nice because the berry softens up in the yogurt, but it doesn't add moisture. It takes moisture away, so you don't get a runny, like liquidy yogurt parfait. You get like a nice thick yogurt parfait. Really good. All right, next I'm trying the cactus fruit. Now, I didn't know where to put this because I don't know how sweet or tangy this is supposed to be. I'm trying to go from tangy to sweet, but let's give it a try and see. So here is the bag. Once again, a beautiful, beautiful color. Pick a smaller piece that I can just pop in my mouth. So here it is. That is very sweet without really any tang in it. It doesn't really have that. That's an interesting, almost melony, maybe almost musky. I don't know what that flavor would be called, but it's interesting. It's very light, very airy, very, I don't know. It's an interesting texture, and it's a good flavor. I actually like that. Never tried that before. Never seen it anywhere to buy fresh or anything, but that was really tasty, really sweet. All right, now I'm going to start on some veggies. So I've got the white asparagus because I just wanted to, this is going to kind of, be a little bit different after all those sweet fruits. So here is, it smells very much like asparagus. It looks like ghost asparagus, but nice size pieces if you're going to use them in recipes, or if you're going to use them to dip, or even just grab and snack on. It has a really nice flavor. It has a strong flavor. Like I thought it might taste almost like nothing, but it has that good, strong, asparagus flavor, but not almost like a tad sweetish, sweet, like not really sweet, but it's not bitter. So if you don't like asparagus, you may not like it, but we like asparagus. All right, I'm going to try the avocado. This one I'm a little iffy about. I know that sometimes freeze drying avocado doesn't do good things to it as far as flavor. It doesn't really smell like anything. It's beautifully colored, and avocado is so nutritious. So, you know, you could put it into things if you don't like the flavor plain, but I shouldn't be thinking that way. I should just try it with an open mind. Here we go. Wow. I'm impressed. It doesn't taste bad. I expected it to have like a bitterness or something to it, which I feel like a lot of people say they've had with freeze-dried asparagus. I mean, this is an asparagus, avocado. That has it's got that mellow sort of buttery texture, but it's dry, but it's not as crunchy and crispy and, you know, Cheeto-y as some freeze-dried fruits and vegetables that are a little bit more. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, just like a fresh avocado, but it doesn't have any bad flavor, which is what I expected. I'm really, really impressed with that. I'm going to have to work with that. Oh, I can't wait. That's exciting. Pumpkin up next, just to see how this is. Once again, not necessarily something I would typically just eat, raw, but it is a very, very nutritious food. I'm picturing this being something I could definitely use in recipes. Nice light texture. Tastes pumpkin-y, not sweet because it's just mildly sweet, because, you know, it's not pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice anything or pumpkin dessert. It's just pumpkin. I'm super excited to have this to work with as well. That's going to be really exciting this fall. All right, I have one more thing I forgot about. I wanted to open these whole bananas. So this is a fruit that I was going to open up and try with my fruit. So I'll try this now. I just want to take a look at the whole bananas. I mean, we know what a banana tastes like. Most of us maybe have tried freeze-dried bananas. Like I said, my family loves freeze-dried bananas. But just to see the whole freeze-dried banana, that is pretty cool. So I'm assuming it has a nice light snappable texture. So yeah, snap it right open like that. I'm going to try it. Tastes just like a banana. It's more of the underripe, because some people like their bananas like still pretty firm. Some people like them really ripe where they're much sweeter. So this has a little bit of that less sweet. I'm assuming that's so that it'll hold its form and keep its shape during the process. Once again, the only thing I can really think of where you would really need like freeze-dried bananas, I mean whole bananas, is like maybe like a banana split or something. So if you have any more ideas for whole bananas, places that whole banana would be useful, let me know down in the comments. You guys have some great ideas, and I love, love, love hearing from you. All right, so my next little palate cleanse here, I wanted to do the Mexican cheese, the shredded cheese. I know that I love shredded freeze-dried cheese. I don't think I've ever had a Mexican blend, but it's what I really buy a lot of in, fresh shredded cheese. I didn't show you in the package. So here is the cheese. I love freeze-dried cheese. It's a little crunchy. It's a little squeaky. It's got that kind of squeaky cheese thing going on. Super tasty. Low carb, high protein, calcium, all kinds of good stuff for you. That's really good. If I had time, I would rehydrate some of this and show you how it melts. Maybe if I can, I'll put a link to a video clip or something where you could see some freeze-dried cheese in action, becoming like fresh cheese and melty and gooey. It's pretty amazing. All right, so now I'm moving on to some real treats, some ice cream. So this is the coffee regular ice cream. Oh no, this is the coffee premium ice cream. I've got the peanut butter in the regular ice cream. So maybe I'll try that first, just to see, like, be able to compare the textures. So here's the peanut butter regular ice cream. That's very good. It's not as peanut buttery as I thought it would be, but it's nice and sweet, and it has that texture that I love. I really love freeze-dried ice cream. So now I'm going to try the premium ice cream in the coffee. And remember, one of the differences is the Very, very simple, clean ingredient list on the premium ice creams. Here's what it looks like in the bag. I'm going to pick out a small piece so I can just pop the whole thing in my mouth. I love coffee ice cream. Now that has a strong coffee flavor. It's sweet. It was creamy. It kind of felt like it melted in my mouth a little bit better even than the regular ice cream. So that premium ice cream, between that and the ingredients list, definitely worth it. Now let's try the espresso gelato because that's similar flavor. It's got the gelato thing going on. Let's see if I notice much of a difference. I like it when I can find small pieces I can just pop in my mouth. This one's a little bit smaller, so let's put this in my mouth. Definitely has a different texture. It's a little, not quite as melty, but a little bit richer. And the coffee flavor in this espresso one is a little bit more like espresso. Like it's a little bit less sweet and a little bit more, sort of like a more fancy coffee flavor. Like this reminds me of like tiramisu or something. And it's very good also. Although I think so far my favorite has probably been the coffee premium ice cream. Now the Dubai style. This I really want to have my daughter try because this is really her thing, but I do like it too. It's basically pistachio and chocolate, and then a lot of Dubai chocolate stuff has this crunchy kataffi stuff in it. She's made it before, sometimes homemade Dubai chocolates, but I don't know if the ice cream is going to have the crunchy. I'm assuming it's just the pistachio and chocolate kind of flavor combination. So you can see that there. It looks like mint chip. They do have mint chip too, I think, but this is not mint chip. This is just Dubai style. All right, so I'm going to give this a try. If you like pistachio stuff, flavored stuff like pistachio pudding and pistachio cake, this is really good. I do like that. Very, very good. It doesn't have the crunchy stuff, and I don't really taste the chocolate in there as much, but like it really has that pistachio flavor, really good and strong, and it's really pretty tasty. All right, now I've got to try the strawberry shortcake and see what this is like because, like I said, the strawberry shortcake Good Humor bars or whatever they were my favorite when I was a kid, or one of my favorites. So here's what we got in there. So I definitely think that is probably what we're looking at here. Yeah, that's it. That's tasty. It's definitely like a mild, sweet, like kid favorite kind of thing. That's definitely tasty. And now the final thing I have to try today is the chocolates. So I've got the milk chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate, and dark chocolate. I don't know what order to put them in. Obviously, milk chocolate is the lowest amount of, the sweetest and less amount of chocolate. I'm not really sure where semi-sweet and dark fall. I'm not sure which is more. But according to the labels, I'm going to start with the milk chocolate. I found a small piece. That's my favorite. So I'm going to just pop it right in my mouth. This is a very small piece. Oh, wow. That was very chocolatey. If you like chocolate, holy moly. So this is a bigger piece. I mean, most of the pieces are bigger. I just picked, wow, that's very chocolatey, very good, very smooth. It's a different texture than the ice cream. I kind of expected to be like the ice cream. It's more of a melty, I don't know how to explain it. That was good. That was the milk chocolate. All right, I guess I'll try semi-sweet next. I can't really find a small piece. These are kind of more uniform. And they're nicely like rectangle little pieces. This is the semi-sweet. I'm going to try it. That's very rich. It almost has like a little bit of a chalky texture at first, and then it kind of melts into this liquidy, like, oh, it's so good. If you're a chocolate person, that's dangerous. The texture is interesting. It's good. It's different. It's not like chocolate. It's like light and smooth. I don't know how to explain it. All right, now the dark chocolate. All right, so once again, can't really find any small pieces. Bummer. It's funny because it doesn't look as dark. It looks light. It doesn't look really any darker than the other ones, but this is definitely the darkest, the strongest. Still very good. Less sweet. It's almost like an airy, moussey type of texture, mousse-like texture, like if they freeze-dried mousse. I don't know. Wow. Very smooth, very rich, sweet, delicious. Freeze-dried chocolate, never had it, never thought it could be done. Whatever they did a really good job. Now let's talk about some important details real quickly. So number one, Arctic Farms doesn't necessarily intend their food for very, very long shelf life, like some of the food storage companies. Their main purpose is snacking and novelty, and they do that very well. But freeze-dried food is freeze-dried food. It can all have that same long shelf life. The packaging is really what determines the shelf life it's going to actually have. Arctic Farms packages their food for about a 2-year shelf life. That's the date they put on it. That's what they guarantee. Now, of course, we know most foods last longer than those dates that are printed on the package, but there's a couple of important details that I want to point out here. Food does not need a 25 or 30-year shelf life to deserve a spot in our prepper pantry. There's lots of foods that we store that are kind of medium-term foods. And that brings up that one thing that we all know we should be doing, and hopefully we all are doing this, and that is rotation. Whether it has a 6-month shelf life or a 30-year shelf life or anywhere in between, we should never buy any food with the intention of just stashing it away and forgetting about it and not touching it. That is never a good practice, and it always leads to waste, whether that's sooner or later. We need to be using the food we store to make sure we like it, to make sure we know how to use it, to cook with it, to make sure that our bodies are used to eating it, and to guarantee that it will get used and not go to waste. Another factor for me is that I use a lot of things as ingredients for meals in a jar. So freeze-dried asparagus, for example, let's just think of one ingredient, for instance, that's packed in a can with a 25 or 30-year shelf life. And then think of freeze-dried asparagus that's packed in a bag with a 2 to say 10 or 20-year shelf life, depending on the bag and the packaging method. That freeze-dried asparagus, both of those, the asparagus itself is all basically the same as far as shelf life when it starts out. The packaging is determining the rest of that. So if I'm taking that product and I'm buying it fresh, I'm removing it from that packaging and I'm adding it to meals in a jar, for example, in mason jars with oxygen absorbers, it now has a whole new shelf life based on how it's being stored. And that's usually about halfway in between. Jar meals usually have at least about an 8 to 10-year shelf life, depending on the storage conditions and on what other ingredients you've included in it. So that's another reason that I don't fret too much about the packaging and the stated shelf life on foods like these. We will use them as we should one way or another. We'll keep them rotated. Now, these are smaller packages too. They're available in smaller packages. So it's much easier to do that, to buy a variety of things and to just try them out and, see what you like, buy more of the things that you like, buy in the bigger packages if it's something you're going to use more. It's a lot easier to kind of test the waters that way with things that are available in smaller packages. And that's why Arctic Farms really stands out here as well, because they have a really small packaging on almost all of their items. So you can buy a very small package or two, try it out, and then decide, do you want to buy it in a larger package? Do you want to use it in meals in a jar? Do you want to store it? Do you want to repackage it for longer term storage? All of those things. So buy them, try them, experiment with them, learn how to use them best in how you like them, snack on them, gift them, all the things. Freeze-dried food is really the next big thing in food preservation. Just like canning revolutionized the way that we eat and the way that we buy and store food, and then freezing did the same decades later. Freeze-drying is the next step in the evolution of food storage. It has advantages over all those other ways, and it does away with some of the pitfalls of those other ways. And of course, it doesn't replace them altogether. None of them replaces. We all still use all of those different forms of food, but freeze-dried food can and will change the way that people buy and store food and the way they cook and eat. And companies like Arctic Farms play a huge part in that. Don't forget to check out the website, and don't forget to use our coupon code WICKEDPREPARED to save if you do make a purchase. If you think you were surprised by what you saw today, trust me, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a cactus emoji down in the comments. And also, tell me the coolest or most surprising items that you saw either in today's video or on the Arctic Farms website, or both. And be sure to check out this video next for some more prepping tips you need right now. I'm Jera with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.